Hi guys, today we're going to talk about polynomials. In order to learn polynomials, we just need to review some vocabulary. So first of all, we're going to go over the list of the vocabulary here. Monomial means, you remember the mono means one, so it's one term. Okay, how about binomial? What do you think? It's going to be two terms. How about trinomial? Three terms. And what is polynomial? Anything that is more than two or more terms, we call that polynomials. Okay? So, if you look at this example, 4 minus x plus 2x to the third power, how many terms do you see? 1, 2, 3. So, what's that going to be? It's called trinomial. Okay? And what is the degree of the polynomial? Degree of polynomial is the highest exponents. Okay, so this is what's the degree of this trinomial? The highest exponent these terms have is 3. So therefore the degree of this polynomial is 3. Easy. Okay, then let's talk about the next one. For example, how do you find the sum? Sum is addition. Okay, believe it or not, we've been talking about this for a while, guys. We've been doing all this for so many months by now. So when you find the sum of polynomials, what are we doing basically? Exactly, we are combining like terms. So when you combine like terms, we're going to combine the terms with the same variable raised to the same power. So actually, A is easy example, so I'm going to start with the B. Okay, so I'm going to start with the highest exponents. When I combine like terms, I always like to start with the highest degree. So I'm going to start with the highest degree, which is negative a to the third power. What else is like term with negative 8x to the third power? Right here, correct? So what's that going to be? Negative 8 minus 3, which is negative 11x to the third power. You see that? Now, then combine the next set of like terms. What are like terms here? So now let's go to x to the second power. But do you see how when I highlight it, I always like to highlight with the signs so that I don't forget about those? So negative 9x squared, positive 8x squared. Is there any other like terms? 4x squares. There you go. So when you combine like terms, negative 9 plus 8, which is negative 1, plus 4. Which is 3x squared. So I deal with the cube and then square, and then next variable that I'm going to deal with is just regular x. So I see x here. I see negative 2x here. Do I see any other x values? That's it. So positive x minus 2x is negative x. Then lastly, we're going to combine all the constants. 2, 4, negative 1. So that's going to be 5. How easy is that? Okay. Now I want everyone to pause the video and try example A. Now pause the video. Okay. So your answer should be 7x squared minus 3x plus 10. I hope everyone got it right. Especially when you have x to the second power without a number, you always need to put invisible 1 right there. Alright? So do we all know how to find the sum? When you find the sum, we always combine like terms. Now, let's move on to the next set. Now this time they're asking to find the difference. Difference is a subtraction. And there's a rule for finding the difference. So what do we need to do first? We can't really combine like terms when we have a subtraction sign. So what we need to do is change the subtraction sign into addition between the set of parentheses. So I'm going to change this into plus. And then change the sign of each term in the parentheses following the subtraction sign. So I'm going to change the sign of the everything. So it's going to be negative 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus 3x minus 1. What do we do with ones on the front? We just bring it down. Now, do we know how to combine like terms? Okay, I always like to start with the highest exponent, so I'm going to start with cube. So negative 6x cubed minus 2x cubed. When you combine like terms, we don't do anything with exponents. We just add the coefficients, which is negative 8. X to the third power. We don't do anything with exponents when you combine like terms, correct? Now, let's deal with squares. Do you see how I'm working from the highest degree to the lowest degree? So, negative 4x squared. Do we have any other x squares? No? That means I'm going to just bring it down. What's the next set of like terms? Positive 5x, positive 3x. So what's that going to be? Positive 8x. And lastly, we combine negative 3 with negative 1. And then minus 4. Easy. So what do I need to do when you deal with a subtraction? All you need to do is change subtraction into addition and change the following terms to opposites. And then what do we do with the front terms? Like this is a binomial, so I'm going to just bring it down. Okay? Now do we know what to do? Combine like terms. Go ahead and do that. Once you're done with example D, I want everyone to work on example E. Now pause the video. Okay? So the answer to D is 6x squared minus 3x minus 1. Answer to the E is 15 plus 2. You might wonder, Miss Lee, don't you need to put 0x squared? No, because negative 8x plus 8x is 0x squared. 0 times x squared is 0, so you do not even have to put that. All right? And I just want to explain the reasoning behind changing plus and then opposite. You know why? Because subtraction is same thing as adding opposites. That's why I'm changing the sign of the subtraction into plus and then make everything opposite. Okay? That's it for today. Have a good day.